Alrighty. Now, many of you love Stuart's My Take, full of advice for young people looking for work.
Show up to the interview on time. If you're a young man, put on a clean pair of pants and don't show your underwear. That goes for young women too. Baseball caps, by the way, come off indoors.
Some practical advice. Of course, this is a real important issue because the youth unemployment right now, that rate, 23.7%. That's for teenagers 16 through 19 years old. Joining us now is Paul Conway, former Chief of Staff at the Labor Department and the President of Generation Opportunity. Paul, I got to tell you something. I look at these numbers for our teenagers in America. They're way worse than the stuff that sparked the Arab Spring. I mean, our teenagers, black, white, it doesn't matter, are suffering participation, unemployment rates, employment to population, any metric that you look at. What's going on?
Here's exactly what's going on. The problem is there are not enough full-time, meaningful jobs that are being created at the entry level for some of these folks, and even the part-time jobs. What you see is there's such intense competition for work that people that have graduate degrees, people who have college degrees, are actually taking work that is usually entry-level type of stuff, and these are the folks that are left on the cutting room floor. Same exact dynamic is going on for those who are 18 to 29 in that entire band. Today's number for them is 11.8% unemployment.
But having said that, is there something fundamentally going on? I don't know if you heard Stuart's take, but a lot of people look around, and I don't know, maybe every generation does it, but when you see kids walking around and their underwear showing and their attitude is sort of indifferent, is there something to be said about this particular young generation not having the impetus or the desire to even work?
No, I would flat out reject that. And let me just tell you why. I think Stuart's advice is very sound for all those who are looking for work. But when you take a look at this generation, I think they're creative, they're engaged, and they absolutely have the discipline to go ahead and make it happen. I think the problem is the onus is not on them and the fault is not on them. It's on an economy that's not growing wide enough for these people to actually get work. That's really what the story is. We're in front of hundreds of thousands of these folks all the time. We've got over 4 million of them on our Facebook pages, and I got to tell you something, their desire to work is inherently American. What the problem is the economy and the president's policies are not creating the opportunities for them.
You know, we've seen so many different, Liz McDonald here, so many different figures about student tuition debt load. What figures are you seeing?
Here's the most important thing. When we take a look at the debt load issues, and you hear a lot of the debate here in Washington between the Republicans and Democrats, especially the Democrats saying what they want, what these young people want is a lower student loan interest rate. Actually, when you ask people, what do you want? What they indicate, 64% of them on our survey national indicate that they want a full-time meaningful job upon graduation. That is far more important than having a lower student loan interest rate. But when they come out, they have tens of thousands of dollars of debt, and they're faced with the prospect of a series of part-time jobs and not full-time jobs in order to repay the loans.
I got to tell you though, Paul, just kind of experiencing the Occupy movement and talking to a lot of those kids down there, a lot of them, really kind of privileged in my mind. They go to Columbia, they go to NYU. They seem resistant to the idea of a full-time job if it's driving a cab, if it's not the job of their dreams. And I think that's problematic.
Well, here's the nice thing about it. We did an actual question on this on our national survey, and we asked folks, what would you rather do, work on Wall Street or protest on Wall Street? Only 29% of these folks would actually protest Wall Street. The rest want to actually get a job on Wall Street. And when you actually pushed in and said, do you know anybody that's part of this movement? Only 4% of these folks said that they actually knew somebody who was part of Occupy Wall Street. So you have the street theater down there in New York and some of these other cities, but that doesn't represent a generation. This is the generation that's actually put on a uniform. They've fought 2 wars. They serve around the world. They rebuilt after Katrina. I mean, these are fine people. They want to go to work. The issue is the economy and not a bunch of street theater antics really speaking for them.
You know, Charles has started working at a young age. I started working at age 15 to put myself through college because I came from a big family. Are you seeing those attitudes changing in the part of kids or students wanting to work even at a younger age?
Very much so. In fact, when we're in front of folks, first question we get asked is, can we come and work for you? Second question we get asked is, what advice do you have about employers in our area? Because we're talking to small business and medium-sized business people all over the country all the time. And what you see is a real desire of, hey, I want to start my career or get my skills going in high school, because they see that when they look at their older brothers and sisters as a potential leg up as they're going into school, because they just aren't certain about jobs.
Paul, you brought up some great points, and we definitely want to have you back on. Some of the trends kind of go against what you're saying, but we have to be, the point you brought up about these kids and what they've done, young people in this country, you're absolutely right, and it is a shame, an awful shame, that there aren't more opportunities out there. Paul Conway, thanks a lot, buddy. We appreciate it.